I'm trying to regroup here, guys. Basically, I got the John Deere down on the grounds, ready to go, ready to be shipped. I'd like to test it, take it for a test ride, but there's still snow outside, so I don't know if that's going to be possible. But my main goal here is to clean stuff up. I want to clean stuff up. Everything that's garbage, I'm going to throw it out and we'll put it in the back of the pickup truck and take it to the junkyard or the metal yard or garbage dumpster or something, all right? Because I have some stuff that accumulates, and I got to make sure I keep that stuff under control, like those boxes. I got a ton of boxes from parts I need to get rid of. So that's basically where I am now. But I did throw this back on the table because I need to know where I stand, because as I move through different projects, I forget where I was, I forget what I needed to do. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to assess this and see where I'm at, and then later on when I go upstairs, maybe even down here, I can write some notes and I can do what I should have done a long time ago, which was write down a checklist of things needs to be done. Now, I keep saying spring's close, this is close, but actually in the whole real scheme of things, I got a lot of work to do to this thing to get it to be movable on its own, to be drivable, as you can sit on it and drive. But also, it's not how I want it, but you know what? I got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm going to have to deal with what I got right now. I have over here, if you follow me, Mr. Cameraman, over here I do have a Peerless type gearbox. That's what they run. That's what we run. But I don't want to use that on this project. I want to save that for another project. So I'm going to try and use a stock transaxle. I did change the pulleys. I got a 6-inch in the back, and I believe I have an 8 or 9 in the front. I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me. But I did do a pulley swap. But you know, you got to hook up your clutches, and it just, there's a lot of stuff to do, and it's not as simple as just, I can make it simple and just throw it together, but I also want it to be reliable. It's not going to be a straight out race tractor. We're not going to take it to racetracks right off the rip and go set the world on fire. We need to play with it first. We need to play with it in the field somewhere, yard, whatever, and then figure out where we stand. But there's a lot of work to do, a lot of little things like my charging system, my oil pressure sensor, my fuel line routing. I don't want rubber hose, I want to use metal. You got to put all the shrouds back on the engine. I got to figure out my steering wheel. I got to mount that. There's a lot of stuff to do yet, but it's a rolling chassis at this point, so what I'm going to do tonight is just assess. So, if you want to stick around and assess with me, that's why I turn the camera on. So, we need to assess and take notes as we assess. The first thing we want to do is walk up right to it, and it's been sitting for a while, and this over here that I'm fumbling with is all part of, you need to sort stuff out, throw stuff out. So this part is going to be the does it still run part. Okay, so this is cold, this thing is not ran in a month or two, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to give her a crank and see if we can make something happen. As you can see, like I was saying, I got my coil wire right here. This is to ground up to shut the motor down. My throttle linkage is hand operated right now. Got a lot of stuff to do. My choke's also the same, that's hand operated. But I do think all the electrics work, all the electronics with my switch and my push button. Let's see if the battery's brand new. It should still work. Let's turn the choke on. She's smoking. So, okay. let me do something else for you here. Let me go close this door over here so I'm not smoking the house out. While I'm at it, I'll grab the fan, because this is one of them basements in the bottom of the house. The basement is the garage type situation, so we might need to crack the door a little bit and get this fan running. Not sure, but we're going to set it up to do so if we need to. All right, I'll go ahead. If it gets too smoky, I'll open that door and we will get some ventilation going on here. Now that fired up kind of easy. I'm honestly surprised. This motor's got work done to it. It's a good motor, but I didn't figure it would fire up that soon. So let's try it again. We better open the door. It's a little smoky in here. Neighbor's got a look. Hit the fan. It's just like being on a real life dyno. Look at all that blue smoke. What's the problem with these high performance engines? If they're cold, they are not going to stay running. Okay, it's kind of smoky in here, and it sounds good, really good. It sounds really good, but it doesn't sound really good to the neighbors right now. I think it's 7 o'clock at night, and I live in a neighborhood of nice people that are retired. So let's not try to stir the neighborhood up, but let's check that off the list. It runs good. Runs good. That being said, we need to do some air fuel adjustments. We need to do some, I don't think the air gap on my coils are perfect. I want to check those too. So yeah, and there's going to be a break-in period too because the motor's really tight and fresh. So as we break it in, we're going to have to make some adjustments there. So yeah, it runs. And that exhaust is really loud, but I think I got it to the point where it's not obnoxious like the first time I started it. It's loud, but it's not a rappy loud, so we'll see. I don't think I'm going to be ripping around the neighborhood in a residential area with it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But anyway, so okay, it runs. Well, it was warm in here, now it's not because we have the door open. We have the door open because all the smoke. I'm not sure. A lot of that smoke came from what was. I have had it running before, but it. I used a lot of oil when I put this thing together. A lot of break-in oil, and I don't know. It's a high-performance machine, you know. Sometimes they smoke when you start them. So let's let this place air out a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll keep assessing. So as I'm making my list, one thing I never did figure out is how this transaxle works. Because there's these mowers from the factory, they have funky linkages. Okay, I don't need you to look at me right now. I need you to look at what I want the people to look at. So I got this little thing right here. That's where the old linkage was. And that's where my new linkage needs to go for my shifter. But I'm not sure what gear is what, okay? So this belt's still kind of loose, but it'll spin the pulley so I can identify which way's which and what I got to do to make it go one way and the other way. The other thing is the wheels, as you can see, that axle's not spinning. These wheels do not have keyways in them, in the shafts. As a matter of fact, they might just fall off when I get it spinning. I do have it up on a jack, but also I don't want this thing taken off through the wall. So I made sure I don't have C-clips on the wheels and I don't have the keyways in the shafts. So it's never going to drive. They'll spin, but it's never going to drive. The wheels fall off, they fall off. You know what it is? It's not a big deal. But so if you see the wheels fall off, I knew it could have happened. But I'm going to fire it up real quick. I'm going to let it idle. And I'm going to play with this little square thingy and see what I can make happen, because I honestly, guys, I don't know. I don't know which way's which or what with this transaxle. So that's what we're going to do. Part of assessing. Wish I'd stop hitting my head on that thing. Okay, so basically if I rotate it clockwise, it went into reverse. If I went counterclockwise, that's my forward speeds. And I cranked it to the highest forward speed. What I'd like to do is find me a little keyway, put it in the shaft, let her rip and see what's happening. But you know, that's kind of, do I really want to do that? Because the other wheel's not going to have that. And then I got to find a keyway. And of course, you know, when I took it apart, I put all my parts together so I'd know where they were. And then I cleaned, and now I have no idea where anything is. So maybe we'll just scrap that idea. And we will pull the wheels off, give her some rip'ems, and see how fast this shaft goes. It's got to go faster. I went to a 6 on the back. I got a 9. I checked the front pulley. The front pulley is a 9. So I got a 9 in the front, a 6 in the back. I don't know where that's supposed to put me because this whole pulley swap thing confuses me too. But that's what I guesstimated on paper with numbers. That means nothing. Works good, I'll let you know. Probably out of gas at this point. There's not a lot of gas in it. Okay, I went 6 clicks. It was a 6-speed. Considering the pulley on the back was a 10, now it's a 6, and the front was like a 4, and now it's a 9. It's got to go a little faster, I'm thinking, but I'm not going to know. I'm not going to know until I get it together, get it out there, ride, drive. I could go for a ride for 3 minutes and go, this is totally wrong. Have to come back in and screw with the gearing. That's probably why I should have just put the Peerless in to begin with, but I'm holding out. I want to play with this pulley thing first. So, we know the gearbox rotation direction. The other thing that I was thinking about, I wrote down, I got to hook up my kill switch. My kill switch goes to the spades on your coils. If you ground those out, it'll kill the engine. That's how you turn these off. This has to go into my ignition switch right here, but not really this one, because this one is for my power. This puts power to my relay for my starter. So this is power's on, power's off. That's the main power, 12 volt. Everything goes through this switch. I'm gonna have to add another switch for this wire. So when it's on, it's an open ground. When I flip the switch off, it's a closed ground, so it grounds out and shuts the motor down. I'll probably put it right next to this one. That way they're both up when it runs and they're both down when it's off. As I was thinking about that, I also thought about, you know, you probably ought to put a tether switch on here, like on your snowmobiles. So your tether switch would go somewhere around in the lower area, and it would be hooked to a tether that's hooked to you, so when you do fly off, okay, when I do fly off, because it's going to happen, and you guys are going to see it because I'm going to video everything. When I do fly off, the machine shuts down instantly, just like your snowmobile. Great idea, or your jet ski. Great idea. Okay, we don't need the mower in 6th gear, even at an idle, headed for the neighbor's house or their pool or their fence or something. So, tether switch is a great idea. I'm gonna have to look those up tonight and see what I can find. Battery hold down. Got to build a battery hold down. My battery's not. I don't have a hold down right now. I need something solid. I need something that's going to isolate it away from any other metal. In case this thing does go upside down, sideways on it, or whatever, you want that battery to stay in place. You don't want them 2 terminals touched on any metal part of this mower to short stuff out and cause a fire. Steering's decent. I got the steering worked away. I think I do want to build a new steering link that goes from the steering gear to the front. Other than that, I'm happy with my steering. Obviously, steering wheel, I have to figure that out. I think I'm just going to buy one. The steering linkage I do have squared away. I have a U-joint down in here. I have a crossbar welded in the middle. So instead of the steering going straight down like the wheels up here, instead of going like this, I put a U-joint here and a crossbar to brace the lower rod that's coming up I put a brace to hold that rod, and then I put a U-joint in right in this area, and my steering shaft is now like this. So I have a U-joint, okay? That allows my steering shaft to be in the comfort zone, which I'm not sure what the comfort zone is yet, but I'm pretty sure it's not up there, all right? It's gonna be down in this area here. A lot of these tractors, I've noticed on a lot of the builds, you watch the races, you watch races on YouTube with the FXTs and stuff. I have noticed that they have the throttles on the steering wheel, because there is a certain point in time where you're concentrating on just steering and you don't have time to think about what your feet are doing other than hanging on. I'm gonna stick with the foot pedal on the right side at this point. I think if I later on in the days when I build a better, faster machine, like a legit race machine, then maybe I will go with the throttle on the steering wheel. But at this point, I'm just going to leave it a pedal. This pedal is going to be my clutch. Disengage and engage. There's two play. There's on and off. That's it. There's nothing else in that. It's you let it out, you go, you push it in, you stop. So yeah, that's where we're at with assessing. I've learned a lot tonight. I've got a lot written down on my sheet. I haven't studied a lot of the rule book. I haven't studied about the right way to build a race tractor or race mower, but with my mechanical and mower small engine background, I kind of got some good ideas. So I know there's a lot of you guys out there struggling on some of the forums, and if you have any questions, hit me up in the messages. Leave me a message and I'll try and help you out. I'm not the official race tractor guru, but I'm pretty sure I know more than the average Joe. All right, so that's it for tonight's episode. We got the list made. Now I know what I need to do. I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna do a little shopping. I'm gonna see if I can find a tether switch. I'm gonna see if I can find some good material for a fuel line that's not rubber, and I'll probably look into some more pulleys too, but I need to try these just to see where these are at. So thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. We'll see you later.